You know, contrary to popular belief, I am capable of growing hair that's not on my face, and occasionally, I'll even comb it. I was recently asked, how do I get my significant other to sell everything and move off into the woods and build an off-grid homestead with me? I got a bad feeling about talking on this subject because the internet tends to take things the wrong way. And honestly, I think some of you guys' questions are designed to get me in trouble. But let's talk about it. I have kind of a weird work history. I never really cared much for school, mainly because I always knew that I was going to grow up and make it in sales. I have an uncle who used to own a small cruise line, and he told me once that all the money in the world is made by changing people's mind about a thing. But, oddly enough, I was also really interested in electrical work, so I would do sales until I got bored, and then I'd do electrical work until I got bored, and then I'd do sales again. Electrical, sales, and sometimes I'd get to sell electrical work, which was a sweet spot for me. I had this way of understanding people analytically, but I always had a really hard time relating to them, which led me to start studying everything that I could get my hands on about sales. I read every book, I took every course, and I went to every seminar. And as a result, I got pretty good at it. I even met my beautiful and talented wife of 18 years, who's the mother of our 5 beautiful children, at a door as a door-to-door salesman, so you know. Now, my values have changed significantly over the years, but there was a time when I made a pretty good living changing other people's minds about a thing. In all those years honing the craft of convincing, I really only ever found 3 techniques that I guess you'd say worked. The first way to change someone's mind is by force. I want to be very clear about something. If you are the type of person that wants to make your loved ones move out to the woods and build an off-grid homestead, then go ahead and scroll away because I have no intention of making you more effective at getting what you want from them. You and I are not built the same, and I don't think I would like you very much if ever we had the misfortune of meeting. Changing people's minds by force creates unwilling, robotic, apathetic teammates. And to be successful at a lifestyle like this, you need willing, competent, driven people by your side. Plus, going about it that way kind of just makes you a prick. The second one is by using your powers of persuasion, being convincing. The old silver-tongued argument. You bring up the subject to your loved one and they go on telling you all of the negatives about it that they think. So you overcome their objections by showing them how wrong they are about those things. So they come up with new objections and you show them how they're wrong about those too. Objection, wrong. Objection, wrong. This may work selling doors door to door or used cars or gym memberships or the like, but convincing someone to change their entire lifestyle for one that doesn't seem to fit their current goals and which results in them not getting what they want out of life so that you can get what you want out of life isn't the way you want to go about this. And in fact is actually just a less overt form of force, which I call coercion by wear and tear. One of the many problems with that particular technique is that you've just set yourself up to be 100% responsible for the outcome of both of your lives. And when something goes wrong, which I guarantee you, I promise it will, it was actually you that was wrong. The next time that you have an idea, you'll be wrong about that one too, at least from the viewpoint of the person who you once wore down. People who have been persuaded to do something will always seek a reason to be unpersuaded of that thing. So I don't recommend doing it that way. But the last one's great because you don't even have to come up with the right words to say. This one is by far the most effective and brings about some of the most amazing, if not completely and totally unexpected results. Nom nom nom. This way is simply sitting down with the person, bringing up the subject, and hearing what it is that they have to say about it, and finding ways to align your goals together. It's building a rocket with 2 engines pointed in the same direction rather than in opposite ones. This is not done to manipulate the situation. It's not even done by crafting the perfect zinger. This is actually accomplished simply by listening to the other person. I assume you love, care, and respect your significant other, and that you want them to be happy. I also assume they want the same thing for you. Otherwise, what's the point? Their objections, comments, and concerns on the subject are not something to be verbally overcome. It's not a battle of wits. They are valid things that you need to be aware of. And if you get their agreement to build this sort of a lifestyle, those concerns are a literal list of all of the projects that you're going to need to plan for. It's a little spicy. And agree to work together on in order for this to be a win for everyone involved. They're delicious, though. When someone's told that they're wrong, or that their concerns are not warranted, or they're just flippantly told to not worry about it, human nature kicks in, along with a deep-seated impulse to be right. They dig in their heels, and then ain't nobody convincing nobody of nothing. Never in history has a mind been changed by doing that. But when you actually listen to a person's concerns, acknowledge that they're completely right for having those concerns, and even recognize that maybe you hadn't taken that into consideration when you brought it up, now you're in a conversation. And the objective of the game stops being who's right and who's wrong, and starts being the alignment of your goals and purposes. By the end of this, you may not get where you'd hoped, but you will end up on the same page. No one having to be right, no one digging in their heels, just a world of possible solutions to both of you getting what you want. And more importantly, the solution that you come up with will have been come up with together. And that's the result that you're actually looking for, as well as the only way any of this works at all. So I'm going to let you in on a little secret. It is impossible to change someone else's mind. It is only possible to create an environment wherein they can change it for themselves. You may be totally amazed to find out how open to new ideas people can be when they're not being made to be defensive of their old ones. Don't force. Listen. Don't persuade. Collaborate. They are 100% correct for feeling the way that they do. Act accordingly and move forward from a place of agreement. Because if you do that, the rest of it just has a tendency to work itself out. Catch you next time. We're building a garden together. Incidentally, this is the exact reason why political arguments online are a complete waste of time. Nobody's changing their mind by being made wrong for what they think. Actually, when a new couple who's only been together for like 6 months asked me if they should pursue the off-grid living and homesteading lifestyle and move off into the woods together, I have like a test for whether or not they're ready for it. I just ask them, have you ever pooped in the same room? And they go, no, you're not ready. It's so true. It's so true.